Herring Review. What's going on, Yidden? Welcome back to Herring Review. I'm with my friend Rudy Rockman for the third time, three-time guest on Herring Review. You know that's more than like pretty much everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like you're a pretty important guest.
And we're going to do a fourth and a fifth and a sixth and it's going to keep going.
Yeah, until we're in Yerushalayim.
And Mashiach is here.
Yeah, so you're kind of like on a post-war tour right now, I guess. Like,
I feel like
traveling everywhere.
The war has always been going on for me because it's not just a physical war, it's an ideological war. So it's ongoing until we bring Mashiach and conquer all wars.
Yeah, well, Rudy was just going to be in Toronto for one night and he just DM'd me, was like, Yalla, we got to eat some herring because part of the tradition.
Yeah.
You were just fighting in a war. What was that like, being a reservist?
Look, we were trained to be soldiers, so it's something that's within us, within each and every soldier, especially those that are combat soldiers. But no one could have prepared us to witness what we saw on October 7th. We were sent into klal. We were the first unit in. By 5 p.m. we arrived there. No one prepared us to see massacres of human populations. But of course, contextualizing the situation, we know that we're there to make sure that this doesn't happen again. After klal, we were sent to the north, and then we were sent back down south, and we went into Gaza for 2 months. We were fighting in Khan Yunis, and Baruch Hashem, we're out and able to continue their lives.
It's crazy. Like, I literally saw you in August, but it feels like it's a whole different world right now. It's like, even on campus at school, it's been crazy. It seems all over the world, there's just so much irrationality about the whole situation. Everyone's just kind of blaming Israel, saying genocide, apartheid, chanting for a ceasefire. Meanwhile, if they just chanted to release the hostages and for Hamas to surrender, maybe there would be a ceasefire.
It's interesting, all these words that we hear, apartheid, genocide, ethnic cleansing, colonization, settlements, these are all things that the West did to the world, right? The West did apartheids, genocides, ethnic cleansing, colonization, and settlements. And the far left of the West feels so guilty for the crimes of their ancestors that they're projecting their white guilt onto the Jewish people in Israel. And what we really see throughout history and throughout time is that Israel and the Jewish people will always be seen as the source of all problems. And so it's not a rational thing, because it's not rational for all extremes to come to conclusions that the Jew is the problem, right? The far right thinks the Jews are the left, the far left thinks the Jews are the right, the capitalist blames us for communism, the communist blames us for capitalism. Every single time throughout history, we're always seen as the source of the problem. And I've been looking at this question for many years, and I realized we didn't create all the world's problems, so why are we seen as the world's problems? And so I think the question is not what did we do, but what didn't we do? And as Am Yisrael, we have a purpose, it's a collective. We need to do something in this world. And that's to do tikkun olam and ol lagoim, to heal this world and to empower all nations and to free the world from shekel, from darkness, from lies, and to bring emet and light. And until we do that, in my opinion, we will always be blamed for the source of the problems, not because we created it, but because we chose the responsibility to fix it.
Do you think there's any little like Hakadosh Baruch Hu involved in this whole situation?
Hashem gave us the formula. Whenever Am Yisrael is united, empowered, and fulfilling our purpose, we overcome all the greatest obstacles, all the greatest nations that have come to destroy us.
Yeah.
Whenever Am Yisrael is divided, assimilating, and forgetting who they are, that's the moment that anti-Semitism rises. So we already have the formula, we just need to put in the right input.
And what would you say about how the Yidden are right now?
I mean, it's beautiful to see so many people uniting after October 7th. I've been going on tour all around the world, and I've noticed that many people are coming to the event and saying, I would have never come to a Jewish event before October 7th, because they felt that they were ejected from their own little communities, from their theater group, from their sorority, from their social justice group. And it's a shame that we had to go through anti-Semitism to wake up and realize who we are. So it's sort of like we're on the path, and all of a sudden we get off the path, and anti-Semitism slaps us back into the path. So if anti-Semitism is a plan B to autocorrect the path of Jewish people, what is plan A that we no longer need to have anti-Semitism?
It's so annoying. Like, why can't we just get it done without having to have anti-Semitism?
Well, I would say we haven't tried. I mean, Israel shouldn't be just a country for being a safe place or to be like all other countries. It should be a vessel for us to achieve our mission statement and our collective purpose. And I think we have yet to tap into that in our generation.
Yeah. I mean, I was just in Israel like 3 weeks ago, and I even saw at Golda, they have an ice cream flavor, Am Yisrael Chai flavor.
Nice.
So if anything's
Was it good?
a sign of Mashiach, I think it's that. It was delicious. Yeah, it was like, there was some chalva in there. That was really amazing.
I'll check it out when I'm there.
When are you going back?
That the Shem April 4th, I'll be back home.
And you're going to be there for a while?
I'll be there until Pesach. Pesach, I'm again on the tour, and then after back in Israel. And in the summer, we're supposed to have another war as well.
That's what they're saying. The war in the north.
Yes.
It's going to be over the summer. Is what's like the rumor?
That's what they say. I think at the end of the day, we don't know specifically when what will happen. We're not part of those decision making, and I don't want to see war. But I think we've learned from October 7th that when you have an army with a force with the capabilities and the intention to try to kill your people and are actively doing so with shooting rockets, you need to deal with your problems before they deal with you. And I hope that in dealing with Hezbollah, that we could actually unite with the Lebanese government, and that eventually lead to a peace deal with Lebanon.
That'd be awesome. I have another question, kind of about you. So how did you know that this, being Rudy Rockman and being a, social media influencer, content creator was what you were supposed to do? Like, was it something you always wanted to do, or was it something you found yourself in?
So I'd say growing up, because I lived in so many different places and was expected to give a different answer whenever someone was asking me, where are you from, or who are you? Because I was born in France, then moved to Israel, then moved to Miami, and in Miami I'm the French kid, and in France I'm the American cousin. And I went through an experience of anti-Semitism at age 7 that really taught me who I was and set me on the path of realizing that the next time I see any injustice against my people, I'd have to be prepared. And that has evolved with time, right? For me, it was, you have to do the army right out of high school. And then I got to university campuses and I realized that there was an intellectual battlefield happening on college campuses. And with time, it's evolved. So I wouldn't say I thought that I needed to be someone on social media, but I knew I needed to play my role in this generation to push Am Yisrael's history forward.
Hashem's pulling the strings and making things happen.
I'm just a vessel for Hashem.
Exactly. That's how I feel too, but I guess on a smaller scale, and I use herring.
We'll do it in our own way.
And speaking of herring, should we eat some?
Let's go.
A couple things have changed on Gishmak Herring since I saw you last time in August. We have a new kichel mug. It's a watermelon, because I guess you probably know, but on social media, the watermelon somehow became synonymous with Palestine, and we don't really know how, but it kind of upsets me because I like watermelon. Do you know how it started?
I think it's because of the colorway, but then again, there's also the Palestinian flag that they could use as an emoji. But again, I'm not against the Palestinians, but I think it's a problem when Palestinians try to project that the only way to help Palestinians is by being against Israel. And I think we see the watermelon emoji with a lot of anti-Israel stuff. And it's important not to conflate that with being pro-Palestinian,
100%.
because when you're anti one side to a conflict that there's no future reality where either disappears, you're actually anti both sides because you're fueling the conflict to continue.
Have you ever met Bassem Eid?
Of course.
Yeah, he's the man. I did a herring review with him a few weeks ago at my school. He came to speak. The man.
What did you think about herring?
He loves it. He says he eats it in Machane Yehuda all the time.
Voila.
But he was, the kichel threw him off because he's used to eating it on bread. But he got used to it, and he actually gave it a 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah, so the herring we got today is actually, it's nothing fancy, but this is what I grew up eating. We got the Future Foods classic pickled herring over here. And another thing about how Gishmak herring is getting better, we have Yiddish stickers right now over here. They're Mamish Yiddish. I was in Mea Sharim putting up English stickers, and I posted on the story, like, we need Yiddish because it's only English in Mea Sharim. And one of the Yidden just swiped up and said I'll sponsor them. So
Nice.
Baruch Hashem. Yeah, we're making it big. Okay, so
Remember what the Yiddish is a Creole of Hebrew and German. Do you know what the Creole for Sephardic Jews is?
Okay, so is there one?
Yeah.
No way.
It's called Ladino.
No way. So I didn't know that they had one. And there's always this debate about Ashkenazim and Sephardim. And like Sephardim, they have the food, they have like the looks. And Ashkenazim, I always say, like, they made a language. Sephardim didn't make a language. But right now I'm learning that Sephardim did make a language.
It's called Ladino. It's a mix of Old Spanish and Hebrew.
And do people still speak it?
Some people know it, but it's not really something spoken anymore.
Wow. Okay, yeah, good for them.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Sephardim. Okay, we're gonna be a bit Ashkenaz right now though, and eat some herring.
So good. As long as it's not gefilte fish.
Exactly.
We're rolling.
Yeah, a lot of hate comments on that reel that we posted.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot of people were like, how are you saying this about gefilte fish?
But they're,
Decolonize the taste buds.
right?
Okay, remember what you say when you take a piece of kichel?
Remind me?
Thank you for the kichel.
Thank you for the kichel.
You're welcome. Here, I'll dish you up. Right over there. So, let's go. There you go. Oh, you want to do it yourself?
Yeah.
Shkoyach. New kichel out of the watermelon mug over here. Again, a piece of herring.
Make sure to get the onion in there.
You got it. Do you have onions?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay, good. You need that crunch.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have herring since the last time we had herring?
No.
Oh, really?
Herring in Gaza.
Yeah, I was actually wondering why not, and did they at least give you kechel?
No.
Really? So what do you eat in
Yeah,
Gaza?
maybe you should fundraise some.
100%.
For
Well, someone sent me a video of soldiers eating herring.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it wasn't in Gaza. It was probably outside.
Yeah.
I guess the Chabad guys brought the herring for the chayalim. Okay, so let's try it out. We're gonna make a shehakol because the herring is the ikr. So Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyeh bidvaro.
Amen. It's sweet. It's good.
It's good, eh?
Yeah.
Great quality. So as a kid, I would just go to shul and just muck this. I'd have to go before all the old people got there, and I would eat it, and pretty much that was my entire childhood.
So what's the history behind herring? How did they start putting these flavors and spices into fish to preserve them?
That's a great question. I'm not fully versed on the answer, but I think I should find out because I've been asked it before. I don't know that much about herring. I know there's the schmaltz and the machis.
I think it's time for round 2.
Yeah, okay. Seconds. I got you. What's been the highlight of the post-war tour so far?
You know, when we're in Israel, we don't really realize how much anti-Semitism there is out in the world because we don't experience that. But seeing the unity amongst the Jewish community, seeing people finally activated, you know, for many years I've been talking about that this is a problem, we need to wake up, we need to do something, and everyone kind of took it as, oh, whatever, it'll go away. You know, it's just a period of time where people are crazy, it's just a distraction, and now it seems that more people are taking it seriously.
Yeah, big time.
But I think we need to evolve from just talking about that anti-Semitism is a problem to understanding why it exists and how to solve it. And so I'd like to see that next evolution in our community as well.
Yeah, let's get it going. Alrighty. We don't need to make another bracha because we had it in mind. You know.
What would you call this flavor?
OG pickled.
OG pickled?
That's what it is, straight out of the shtetl. Is that? You think that was a real moose over there?
I think so.
No way. We show where we are right now. There's a moose, but he's a Zionist moose, so
Zionist moose.
we'll let him stay.
He's a Zeus.
He is a Zeus. Alrighty, Rudy. So what would you rate this herring out of 10?
I would give it a 9.5.
Whoa, that's a high score. It's good.
Yeah.
The OG pickled, 100%.
Even the story behind it, that it's like the original one, because I like, you know, indigenous things.
Yeah.
Where you go to the source. But of course, I'm going to judge it by its taste. It has a really good taste. So for uniqueness, it doesn't score high because there's nothing so unique. But for the taste and for its original flavor of what it actually used to be.
Well, I was trying to think what to get you because the first time we had like the Zatar herring.
Right. We gotta switch it up.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
Yeah.
And speaking about indigenous things that you like, you were also recently in Fiji. Do you find any indigenous Jews there?
A lot of people are identifying as Israelites.
Okay.
And this is part of my project that I'm doing of finding different communities, but I haven't found any concrete evidence that there are Israelites that are there.
Who's like the leading expert on this in the world?
On which community? Depends.
I guess the Fiji Jews.
I went to the archives there in the museum, and I tried to find different things and couldn't find anything. And then the people that I spoke to, the arguments that they would give me for why they believe that the Fijians originate from Israel were kind of like, oh, well, the name Fiji, it actually represents the first Israeli Jewish island. And I'm like, well, that's English. That wouldn't necessarily be something that would show proof. That's kind of something you just made up.
Yeah.
So a lot of the answers that I got weren't conclusive answers, but the fact that they support us, you know, we support them right back.
There's also the thing with Bob Marley. I don't know, his wife in the Bob Marley movie had a Magen David.
Yeah. Well, Bob Marley's father was straight up Jew,
Oh.
like from our community.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's number one. Also, a lot of the people that were taking to Jamaica, a lot of them descend from Jewish Ethiopians that were taken into slavery, which is why you have this mixture of even inspiration of Zionism, where Bob Marley talks about Zion all the time. You have a mixture of Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah, and then you have a mixture of Christianity and African cultures, and that's what creates Rastafarianism.
Wow.
Because it's a bunch of different communities that were taken into slavery, mashed up together, and eventually led to that.
Do you think we're the main characters like of the universe?
No, I think we're the main characters of our own story in our own minds, but we need to play a role of what that character is supposed to do, and I think we have yet to tap into that.
But we're getting there right now.
Love the show.
Alrighty, well, thanks Rudy for coming back on Herring Review. This was awesome. Looking forward to the next time in Israel.
Love the show.
Let's do it. Awesome.